The impact of the Eight Immortals on Chinese culture. Residing on the 5 islands of the Bohai Sea and primarily becoming popular in the Tang and Song dynasties, the Eight Immortals are said to be protectors and keepers of the culture in Taoist philosophy. Put into plain terms, the Immortals were also popular in the Ming era because of the desire for mastery of literature and expression in the arts at the time, making these Immortals even more prominent and influential, especially in the eyes of their leaders. This patronage also allowed materials like silk to be used and an appointed artist to be placed in most courts with experience in fine arts to create these pieces. These Immortals are protectors and direct illustrations of the Taoist philosophy, from the life that they grant and prosperity to the evil that they dispel. The implications of each Immortal within the culture, medicine, and everyday life have been immense, and these legends of deities have influenced many frequently referenced philosophies, literature, moral laws, and even historical events through rich symbolism, legendary tales, and captivating origins, such as that of Lu Dongbin. Lu Dongbin is known as the leader of the Eight Immortals, even though this piece did not appear until the early 14th century. Cult followings formed around him in the 10th century, based on his story of enlightenment and connection with nature, as is ultimately desired in Taoism. A journey as a politician took a turn when Lu dreamed his entire future wasted in his selfish ways of desire. Realizing the error of his ways was a hyperfixation on the outside world, society, and desire itself, he set out to become a master and author on the subject of inner alchemy, giving the people who followed a path of self-evaluation and enlightenment a means to their end. He even wrote 2 of the major sects used in ancient Taoism. The painting shown here, Taoist Immortal Lu Dongbin, is made with ink on a silk banner. The popular left-facing posture allows a hilt of a sword to be shown over the left shoulder, said to be used to dispel evil. His posture emanates leadership, much like the portraits of Katsukawa Shunsho in the mid-1700s. The usage of iconography representing the literati composers, scholars, and hierarchy present in the Ming Dynasty was popular in similar works of the time, and is fitting as a comparison to this piece since Lu Dongbin is known as the patron saint of the literati, depicted here. Another important figure in the subject of literature is Han Shan. He can give us more of a physical evidence of his impact on the Chinese culture and even insight into the rebellious spirit yearned for in the Taoist practice, since Han Shan was at one point a deserter of the military in the Anxi Rebellion. Also aligned with the Taoist philosophy is the color used. I feel the bright green and blue matching the flowers in the back and grass in the front allow a deeper connection with nature, and a more direct connection with the rebellion that ensued behind Han Shan, given that typically only those in power had the resources to wear bright colors and be so well-versed in language. One of his poems read, "I don't think much of immortals. I ride my horse like the wind. I chase hares and loose falcons," allowing the viewer to experience the free rebellious emotion he had firsthand. This feeling is shared in Zen temples, as this piece is used in many Zen meditation practices for its theme of retreating to nature and finding oneself. This allowed Han Shan to create over 600 pieces, giving those who read his poems insight to the straightforward and centralized themes, highlighting the necessity of escape through transcendence that the reader is free to interpret and practice on their own. His composition was the opposite of the intricate and clever poems usually seen in the time period. They were very straightforward, but also had an emotional connection to the natural world around him. Simply reading his poems, I can tell that Han Shan was ahead of his time, giving his readers an insight to the future in literature to inspire thousands. And speaking of inspiration, Sayubo, or Queen Mother of the West, is a protector of the very peaches of immortality that grant the Eight Immortals their mystic power, and is a prominent female role model. She's known as the caretaker of all, and she gave the people of the culture more emotional security, especially when depicted conversing and caring for her students and other immortals. She always granted a symbol of equality among men and women, working against the submissive norm of the time. This piece, entitled The Chinese Immortal Sayubo, is distinctive with its bold lines, giving away the media to be woodblock print, specifically Chuban, a medium-sized woodblock print of about 7 by 10 inches. The character's straight posture and left-facing attention are trademarks of the portraits of Katsukawa Shunsho, along with the hierarchical clothing. The colors featured in the piece are warm orange and bright yellow, usually used to depict royalty, hence the name Queen Mother of the West. It also featured the traditional dressings of the Tang and Song dynasties and the natural landscape backgrounds, along with a slight bit of calligraphy. Seibo continues to be an idol even today, being included in mobile games like that of the World of Immortals, proving that these Taoist principles can still influence those willing, regardless of the time. The interest that drew me to this topic has only grown in learning of the various ways these legends influence people's lives for the better, giving them beacons of hope, security, unity, and knowledge that is used endlessly. Thank you.